Hello everyone. Guess what? Robert Saunders here, and I am so excited to start talking about Blueprint Assist, or Blueprint Assist enabled by Dell Automation Studio. Been a long time in coming. We did a bunch of demos at DTW. We announced it at DTW 2026, and it's time to start cranking out the YouTube demos. So I have a bunch on deck here, starting with this one, the introduction to Blueprint Assist. Now, our architecture is the user, the IDE, the skills that you get with Blueprint Assist. Those then point to your LLM of your choice. You use the CLI, the dap-bpa CLI, to put together that blueprint description, that whole packaged up zip file that you'll see in a few of the other demos that I'll make here. That gets uploaded to the Dell Automation Platform Orchestrator and executed as a workflow. So we have the skills engine, the IDE integration, dap-bpa was the fundamental Blueprint Assist. It's rich in features. It's getting richer all the time. I couldn't be more excited, especially working with these teams and putting all of these use cases together. Infra deployment, blueprint analysis, creation, template reuse. You can go to automation.dell.com right now, and not right now, let's wait until we're done with the video, and you can see all the templates that we have there to get you started around blueprinting for the automation platform using Blueprint Assist. Let's get going here. Let's start diving in because this is way cool and I couldn't be more excited. First and foremost, the system architecture overview, and I'm going to show this a few times here, but really what we're going to be doing is right down the middle of that block one there, Blueprint Assist. We're going to be working in our local environment today for this demo against an IDE. That's going to be Devon Desktop. We have the skills already loaded. Blueprint Assist skills are loaded both in Windows and in WSL, so you have a lot of choices and a lot of flexibility here. That points to the LLM of your choice, like we talked about earlier, and you execute the dap-bpa CLI to get to the desired outcome. Now, there's a few things we're going to talk through here about building proper specs, but today we're actually going to just show what we have here, just the basic CLI command structure. This is kind of a knowledge check and just a 101 training around all the rich features that Blueprint Assist brings to the table. So I'm using just some notes here that I have actually in a repo where I do a lot of the demos from. So let's go ahead and review the current CLI version. At the time I made this recording, it was probably at .26 if I remember correctly. We're actually up to .27 right now, and I know coming very soon, .28. We're moving very, very fast here at Dell. So I'm going to set bypass right now to just go ahead and not have to get input back and forth from me and accepting edits. I'm just going to let it go for this demo, which is perfectly fine to do for a demo type environment like this. And first and foremost, I'm going to say, show me all the DAP CLI command structure that is available. That's the rich feature set that gets loaded as Blueprint Assist. So let's go ahead and ask the engine here to go get a response, and it's going to put this all together. And I'm going to scroll back up here because you do become a little bit of a speed reader. But there's the CLI command structure. You see the setup and auth, blueprinting, knowledge, and that's a lot of subsets there, blueprints, plugins, documentation, all built in. The orchestrator, that's the operations, upload, executing, all the workflows, and then deployment updates. Of course, the events, the plugins, the secrets, monitoring, you can do it all through the CLI if you like. I'm going to do a mixture of both as we go through this demo series between the CLI and still using the GUI. So now next, what am I going to do here? I'm going to say, show me all of the commands that we've loaded with Blueprint Assist. Now that's going to be a pretty rich feature set here. So here they all come. Again, I fast track this here so we don't have to watch it all work, and then I'm going to scroll back up here and we're going to review these commands that the results are. So plugins, the knowledge, no auth needed right now. So a lot of this work can be done with Blueprint Assist on your local machine, getting it right, pressure testing, building from your spec. We'll talk all about this here in a little bit. And then when you're ready, you would upload it to an orchestrator. But again, it's not hard. You can iterate locally using this CLI. You see the executions, the plugins, secrets, all of it's right there at your fingertips. And of course, monitoring a session once you've uploaded up to the orchestrator. The workflow wrappers, the global flags, and then a lot of quick reference, which is right there at your fingertips as you're working in whatever IDE environment you want. We do here internal with our teams, we'll work in let's say WSL, in terminal sessions, multiple Windows, Linux, doesn't matter to us. But you have flexibility wherever you want to use this tool. We meet you right where you need to be. So now, tell me about the skills that you have available. Now here comes a lot of skills, and this is kind of probably fundamental for Blueprint Assist here. So let's go back up, and we see script triggers, deployment update triggers. And these skills, this is how you activate them. You just literally call them in a natural language and you execute them or let them run against what you're trying to build. Native Edge, cloud, container orchestration, of course, infrastructure, and other automation capabilities. Installing the skills, updating the skills. Every time a new release comes down for Blueprint Assist, you literally just write it right over the top of the previous one, and it'll be the former version will be backed up, and then you'll have a new version. It's super easy to upgrade and keep your Blueprint Assist up to date at all times. So let's see what else I took a look here. This is pretty cool. I loved showing this. So inside Blueprint Assist, as I mentioned earlier, is a rich set of documentation. So you can review all of this, again, right here at your fingertips. I'm working out of a repo that we've curated as TMEs here at Dell. You can work in a repo too. You can have your own repository where you're doing all your work, and then you have this right at your fingertips, all the documentation here loaded as part of Blueprint Assist. Available documentation files there in BPA, WAC docs. You see all the markdown languages, or the markdown format here. You can read all those very easily, very easy to read, human readable. Plugins for developers, node format, skills format. Again, when you're building a blueprint, you start with a spec, you feed it into Blueprint Assist, you let it start churning on it. We'll get into that in a bunch of demos here coming in the future. Windows builds, benchmarking, etc. And then, of course, how even to use the docs in the docs. Accessing the docs, documentation updates, and then of course some related training resources that my team also maintains here for Blueprint Assist. So now I'm going to ask, tell me about the examples that are available in the knowledge base. I'm going to let it run, and then I'm going to scroll back up to the top. Again, I know it all comes to the screen pretty fast here, but there's all the output I wanted to show. So I'll jump back up to the top. Now here's the examples that are available in the knowledge base right now, and they're changing. It's getting richer. It's a richer feature set almost every couple weeks. So virtual machines, and of course this is all by category. There's some cloud platforms in there, virtual networking, of course containers and orchestration. We have to have that, especially with all the AI right now that we're building. Infrastructure as code, Terraform, Ansible, all part of it. Storage, of course, Redfish, compute and storage, if you want to get to compute, all of it's right there. And then single or multi-blueprint files. If you've seen the other demos, they can get pretty robust. That's the beauty of the orchestration platform, and that's the beauty of building your own custom blueprints here with Blueprint Assist. Now I'm going to say, provide me a sample use case, because I'm still learning. Provide me a sample use case for each blueprint. Now this is going to be pretty powerful. There's going to be a lot that's going to come back here. So again, it's all going to scroll to the screen. I'm going to come back up and we're going to review it here together. So sample use cases for blueprints, virtual machines. There's a scenario, there's a business need, there's an implementation, and then of course the benefits. So here we are building out the business case and the use cases for using Blueprint Assist as your tool of choice to orchestrate your entire environment end to end, from bare metal all the way out to an application. Helm charting right there, of course Kubernetes again. Simple hello world for Docker, yes. All of it is here. Edge Compose, and then of course the infrastructure as code, Terraform, Ansible. You can bolt that right in. You can call out to it. I got a bunch of demos on that also here that we'll be showing. Storage use cases. Right now, PowerStore, more coming here in the future. It's all going to be at your fingertips with Blueprint Assist, so you can curate whatever you want to do whatever you need to do. Redfish, compute and storage. So that's bare metal server provisioning. And then Kubernetes on bare metal, there's also an option even for some of the AI workloads. We show that in some of our hands-on labs right now with AI Factory. Simple OS blueprints, Linux and Windows, and then the key takeaways. VM, cloud, container, infrastructure as code, automation and storage blueprints. The patterns, there they are right there. We're going to get more into the patterns here in the subsequent demos, and we're going to talk through all that, how to be effective using Blueprint Assist in the shortest amount of time possible using the AI tools. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.